Hey, what's up everyone? John here with WebDev for you, here to help you build awesome websites without code in Webflow. Welcome to today's live stream. For anyone who's new to the live stream, I do these every Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central. And we cover everything Webflow and anything related to web design and web development. So if you're interested in building websites, designing and building websites, you've come to the right place. Yeah, we cover everything: layout building, design systems, class naming conventions, creating animations and interactions, and yeah, just building entire sites at times as well. So if you need to learn anything about Webflow, yeah, this is the place. So feel free to drop any questions in chat. I provide support via the super chat feature here on YouTube. So if you need help with a personal project, I cover that near the end of the live stream. You can just drop a little donation, whatever you want to give. It does help support the channel. It helps supports me. Yeah, it helps to support me continue to do this every day. I don't know if I said that right. But yeah, it just helps support the channel basically. So yeah, I'll get started with today's live stream. Hello everyone. Hello Yao, Tazaware, Joey Joe. So if you've been to my live stream, I think it was a couple weeks ago, we'll also talk about the no code conf, which was amazing, and the new features coming out for Webflow. But I'll quickly talk about what we're going to be building today, or for pretty much the rest of this week. So if you were in my live stream, yeah, about 2 weeks ago, yeah, Taylor Swift, exactly. You probably heard me mention about Taylor Swift's website, which I thought was really not good. Like I looked at it and I was like, this isn't a great website, right? Like these sections are actual images. Like I can download this image. Here, let me download it, or it's yeah, save image as, and this section is an image, which if you know about kind of web design, adding images to a site, like it's done here, it's horrible for SEO, right? Search engines can't decipher the text in an image. So there's just many things that are not good about this site. So I took it upon myself, and here, let me just open it. Yeah, so it's a literal image here. This is an image. So I decided to take it upon myself, and we might do more of these. I think it'll be a fun thing to do in the live streams, where we just look at different artist websites. You know, in this case, it can be Taylor Swift. It can be websites for movies, because a lot of times these movies, like, it's amazing. I watch a movie, and it's an amazing movie, and then I go to the site just to check it out, and it's just like really not great. And with tools like Webflow now, I don't see any reason why we can't have really amazing websites for every situation, right? For an artist, a musician, a designer, a movie. Like, yeah, I just don't see why we still see sites like this nowadays. So end of rant, basically. So I took it upon myself. I opened up a Figma file, and I started redesigning the Taylor Swift website. Now, I don't consider myself like this great designer, or I don't spend too much time with design. I usually like to hire outside designers, but you know, I dabble a little bit. So I literally whipped this up in probably less than an hour, you know, just a layout. And so yeah, what I have in mind for this week is we're going to rebuild the Taylor Swift website. And we're going to add e-commerce, because she has e-commerce on her site that goes to another site, which is horrendous. And you know, I actually checked if this was the actual site, but it is taylorswift.com, because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There's a video, and there's e-commerce here that goes to a Shopify site, I think. So it's another separate site that, again, doesn't look great. And if Taylor Swift is watching this, or anybody from Taylor Swift's camp, I don't mean to like poo-poo the site so much, but there's definitely better ways to build a site or to convey information on a website, especially if you're like a nominated or award-winning artist. So rant over. And then I thought maybe they were going for this type of like old school feel, but if they were, there's better ways to do that too. Like, don't make your section images, you know? And even if it was an old school feel, like it's not even done that great. So anyways, okay, rant over. Yeah, so I do like Taylor Swift's music too, so that came into my mind. I like hip hop. I like, good. I think Taylor Swift is more pop and country, but I like her production. Like her beats are cool, and she has a cool voice. So yeah, I decided to take a look at her site, and we'll be building it. So Joey's laughing. Yeah, I just had to express that. Kind of give you a backstory or an intro as to why we're approaching this build. So we're just going to rebuild this in Webflow. Today we're going to start building it. But before I do that, I just wanted to quickly touch upon the no code conf. I didn't go to too many of the breakout sessions. I did see the keynote or the opening, video where Vlad and the different members of Webflow talked about the new features that are coming out. So I had an idea about these features. Again, having worked at Webflow, I was hearing about some of these features. So we're gonna get things like memberships, subscriptions, logic flows. What else was mentioned? Oh yeah, we're gonna try working with the new backdrop filters, and I don't know if the image filters are there yet, like the screen and all those different kind of Photoshop filters that we're used to seeing. I'll check if they're there. I think it's still in beta, but if they are, maybe we can use it for this site. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I didn't whip up an agenda, but that's basically it. We're going to work on this Taylor Swift site, and then in the last 20 minutes, I'll field any super chats or any questions, and we'll go through that. So yeah, my idea with this site is just to have a nice hero section. And yeah, I didn't go through the old site too much, but it's basically this. It's just like, I don't even know if it's responsive. Yeah, it's kind of weirdly responsive because it's images. So yeah, we're just gonna build the hero section. Let me go back in here. So we have this hero image, and this section here, because what my idea for this is to always have the call to action of either buy the album or listen to the album on Spotify. So once the user starts scrolling, this little section is going to be position sticky, so the user always sees it, so they can click either buy the album on Amazon or listen on Spotify. Then this is going to be a video, because she has a video called All Too Well. And then we're going to get into the album. So another thing for the album, because if we go to this site, we see that they have these images that are low quality. So, I just went to Envato Elements, and we're going to work with Photoshop a lot today. And this will give you an idea too of what you can do for your own sites. But I typed in CD mockup, right? And there's some beautiful mockups. So I might use this one here. And all I have to do is grab a nice high quality image of Taylor Swift, or maybe the Red album, and drop it into Photoshop, and I have a super crisp CD mockup, right? That looks way better. Like, look at this. I could do like any one of these, and it would look 10 times better than what's here. So we're gonna work it with Photoshop. There's also a vinyl mockup that we're gonna use because she has the album available in vinyl as well. So here, perfect. Like, any one of these would be perfect for this. So we'll have fun with this. We're gonna create some cool vinyl mockups and some cool CD mockups to make the site really pop, right? When you go to a site, you don't want to see like low quality images. You want to see something that's nice, crisp, and clear, and that's what we're gonna do on today's site. So without further ado, I know I've talked a lot. Yeah, and she has like products here, a video. We'll create an e-commerce site in Webflow, so we don't have to go to Shopify or any other site. Everything will be in-house. And yeah, so we'll do that. You could even link up Printful to have Printful ship your shirts. Like, so Taylor Swift or her team wouldn't need to even look at shirts or any merchandise. It could all be done through Printful. Okay, so with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is build the Navbar. It's very simple. And the last thing I'll mention here, I do want this to be a collaborative effort. So as I'm building, if you have ideas of what could be done or different design ideas, just feel free to write it in the chat. I'll look at them and we can have a good time getting creative and building a site. So I want to make this, see if we can get this to be like one of the themes for the live streams, is just rebuilding websites, different artists' websites. So could be fun. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing is the color palette. So I went to the website and I just grabbed a few different colors right here. So I'm gonna start with the style guide and the branding. So Maverick wrote, can you please plan a video related to building an NFT marketplace using attributes from FinSuite? Maybe Maverick. I know NFTs like a popular thing right now. This week we're probably gonna focus on this site. Maybe next week I can get into NFTs, but NFTs to me would be more of like just building maybe a CMS of NFTs. So you build like a collection list, right? And if you have your categories of NFTs, a link, I don't know, I think it's OpenSea, they sell NFTs, and just link out to the NFT that way, maybe that could work. But as far as like linking up like crypto plugins into your site, that's a whole nother story and something I honestly don't want to get into because that whole world can get a little bit crazy. So we'll stick to this site for this week and we'll see. I can probably just tell you to maybe look up working with collections in Webflow to build out a collection of images that you want to sell or something like that, like digital NFTs. So that's the short answer. So let's go ahead and start building the site. So we have the colors here. I'm going to go ahead and add these colors as global swatches in Webflow, so we don't have to continuously add those colors. So for the body, I'm going to say body all pages, and for the background, let's go ahead and make the background this beige color. I'll go ahead and click the plus and create, and let me just grab this this red color. So I'll copy it here and I'll change the background to this for now, just for a moment. And then we have white, so click plus, we have white, and we have black. All right, so those are the colors we're going to use for the site. I want this to be the background for all my pages. Done. Great. Great. So the next thing, we're going to be using Oswald for the font. So I'll say body all pages. We'll change the font to Oswald. And I honestly didn't spend too much time looking up different fonts for this. I thought Oswald would work well. Obviously there's probably like some really nice paid font that would work even better for this type of site, but Oswald will work good here. It is a Google font. All right, so let's go ahead and I'll add a div block, right? So we're gonna start with a page wrapper. So I got this from the client first system, like this type of structure, which I kind of like. So we have the page wrapper, then we have the main wrapper, and then the content goes in here in the main wrapper. So the first thing I'll add is a navbar, and I'll call this the navbar underscore component. Great. Yeah, so that's about it. And then for the navbar background, we're going to set the color to this red. We're going to make the nav link, so I'll call this nav underscore link. We're going to set it to the text color to white. And we'll just call all of these nav link and nav underscore link. Great. So let me check the site here. I made them all capital. So we have merch, videos, events, and newsletter. So let's go into the text. Let's make it a capital case, and let's make it 16. So we have merch. Let's add some letter spacing. Let me see. Yeah, letter spacing of 1 works well. Cool. Hey John. Yeah, inside the page wrapper, the global styles resides as a symbol. Yep. All right, cool. So merch, events, no, videos, events, oh, come on, event, there we go. And newsletter, newsletter. Great. And then for the brand, it's just going to be a text block. I don't have time to, or I don't know if Taylor Swift has a logo, so I'm just gonna, for the brand, it's just gonna be Taylor Swift. So I'll just use Taylor Swift logo type. And for the color, we'll set it to white, and we'll make it fairly large, maybe 32. And line height, we'll do 1 dash. All right, so for this container, we'll say nav_container, and we'll set the max width to 1440. So our containers are going to be 1440 in width. The Navbar component, I'm going to use 10 VW for padding. So all our sections will have 10 VW for padding. And great, so the nav container, let's set it to flex, align center, and justify right. Then for the brand, I'm going to say, and this is just specific to the Navbar, because if I try to do, for example, on the nav container, if I try to do justify space between, it puts it in the center, which I don't want. So I have to justify it to the right, then I select the brand, and then set it to absolute, and position it to the left. And for the nav container, let's make sure it has a position of relative, so that this brand element is relative to the nav container. Now for the brand, let's set it to flex, center, and perfect. So we have the logo in the center. All right, and let me add maybe some letter spacing to Taylor Swift. Yeah, 1 pixel. Great. So for the Navbar component, I do want it to be a little bit taller, so I'll just add some padding to the top and the bottom, maybe 10 pixels, and I like that. So far so good. Yeah, let me hide this this toolbar here for the moment, so we have more real estate, screen real estate. Great. Okay, so now we can add the hero section, which is this image. We have this red text, and it says available now. So let's go ahead and add that hero image. So I'll add a section, and the section is going to go in the main wrapper. So right in here. Yep, section, we're going to call this section dash hero, and let's go ahead and add, let's add a div block, and I'm going to call this hero image wrapper. And so let's see here how I want to do this. So for the section hero, let's add some padding of 10 VW and 10 VW. And okay, so we have now we have the image wrapper. So let's go ahead, let me add some images that I downloaded. The other thing I found kind of unusual, when I was looking for Taylor Swift images, there was no real high quality images. I actually had to download a wallpaper. It still works, it's a good image of a wallpaper, but I'm not sure why that is, but I couldn't find any real great images. Anyways, so for the height of this hero image, let's make it 500, and let's add the background image. So for this, I don't mind setting the background image as a decoration, because that's what it is, more of a decoration here. And let's see, I kind of like that. So let's see here. Yeah, I have a better idea. So rather than add 10 VW to this section, I'm just going to add a little bit of padding, like 20 pixels. And this will make sense in a second. Then for this hero image wrapper, let me set the border radius to, I think 50. Yeah, 50 is good. And I'll add some margin from the top to this image, so like 20. All right, that looks good. I kind of like this effect here where it's just showing her, I guess, lipstick there. Not trying to get too designy, so but yeah, I just like that idea. Like we could change the image so it shows more of her face like this, but this is kind of stylistic, I feel, and we might change that, but we'll go for this for now. So we have the hero image wrapper. For this kind of design element right here, I built this in Figma, so it might be a little bit hard to build this in Webflow. So we'll just export it from Figma as a PNG because I added an image here and some red and the shadow. So I could hide the image. Let's see how it looks like without the image and with the image. Yeah, actually, I don't think it needs the image in the background. So we'll export it as an SVG, which should look super crisp. So I'll export it. Let's check it out. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's drop it into the site. And let me go into my Finder and let me just rename this SVG red. Or just call it red. Okay. All right. And let me drag and drop into my assets panel. Okay, and I'll add, let me add a div block in here, and I'll call this hero underscore image content. And then for the image wrapper, let's set it to flex, and we'll do right. Perfect. And then in here, I'll add an image, choose the image, and we'll select this image here. All right, so yeah, I'm getting some weird kind of artifacts here on this SVG image, which is not ideal, but let's see here. Let's export it as PNG instead. Let's see. Maybe it's because yeah, it must be this this stroke that I added here. Here, I'm gonna try to export it like that as SVG without that stroke. It still looks good. Are complex SVG resource intensive? Not so much, Maverick. Depends on the type of SVG. That's kind of a little bit of a hard question to answer at the moment. I would have to have more context, like what's in the SVG, and things like that, like what colors. So yeah. But typically, if you're just working with paths and things like that, you should be good. Okay, so let me resize this red image. So I'm going to call this hero underscore red text, a red SVG. And let's give it a width of, I don't know, 300 pixels. That looks good. And just going to move this around a little bit. Something like this. Yeah, and to be honest, I kind of like that it had the let me try something here. I'm going to try to open this in Adobe Illustrator because Adobe Illustrator might export it better. No, okay, never mind. So, oh, it's lagging. Okay, hold on. Let me try closing a few windows. And hold on one sec. Okay, let me know if it's still lagging. And yeah, I do not like when it does that. Okay, so back to the build. So I'm going to try to export this. I do want the stroke added. I like that stroke. So I'm going to export it as PNG. Excuse me, losing my voice. And let me go ahead and re-export it as a PNG. And you know what? To make sure the quality is super high, I'm going to do 2x PNG. There we go. All right. So let me, oh, sweet. Nice, thank you, Machine Nasho. Appreciate it. Gotcha. All right, so let me drag and drop in here. Okay, so let me replace this image with the PNG. Okay, nice, perfect. That looks awesome. All right, cool. So we have red. Okay, so this image we might have to change actually to the top. All right, yeah, that'll work, that'll work. Let me set this image, hero image content to 50% and remove the margin, and I'll play with this, and then I'm gonna add a text block, hero available text, and we're going to say Oswald White, and we'll do available now. All right, and we'll play with this to make it a little bit better. Let's see what size I set here in Figma. It's very large, 70. Oops. 70, and we'll do 1 dash. Yep, that's the color. All right. And for this, we'll do flex, vertical, and justify like this. Okay. Cool. Let me add some margin from the bottom here, and then let's center this. Okay. Remove some of this margin from the top. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. This image is too wide. Yeah, that's kind of bothering me. So we are going to, yeah, add the padding here. 10 VW and 10 VW. Okay, that's better. And for the hero image wrapper, I'm going to put it in a container as well, just to keep things nice and neat. So I'll say container. For the container, we're using a 1440 max width. So I'll put this hero image inside of the container. Perfect. All right, yeah, and that just gives us a bit more structure for the site. And I'll add a little bit more margin from the top there. Okay, so far so good. I'm liking that. I also want to add a bit of an overlay. I have an overlay here on the image. So, excuse me, sorry, didn't mean to do that. So for the image wrapper, I'm going to add a div. We're gonna call this image hero underscore image overlay. I'll set it to a position of absolute and full, and make sure the hero image wrapper is set to relative so that the overlay is relative to this image. Okay, and then I'll add a background and I'll set it to gradient. For the left gradient, we're going to set it to transparent. For the right color on the gradient, we'll set it to this tan color. Wow, that looks kind of dope. Yeah, kind of like that, but that wasn't what I was going for. I want more of a 90-degree overlay, just like that, and then the overlay is going to go behind the text. Okay, so this hero image content needs to be a position of relative. So if you weren't kind of aware of that, if you have an element behind another element and the elements in front are not coming to the front, you just want to set that element that's in front to a position of relative, so it'll respect the z-index values of the navigator from top to bottom. All right, let's see. And Yeah, I do want a bit of more definition on the image. Let me try something here. I'm going to try setting a border, here to this red color. And that might be kind of nice. So the hero image wrapper, let me try setting an overflow of hidden. So we get that border. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Let's go back into the hero image overlay. So again, any feedback is welcome. Definitely want this to be kind of a fun collaborative design project or live stream. So I'm just going to change the alpha here to something a little darker, maybe 70. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. So we have a little bit of that tan here on the right. We have the red element. Let me set it to 2x. Image is high DPI. Make sure it's nice and crisp. All right. So yeah, let me add some padding here to the left of this. Put it more to the right. And I might center this. No, not center, but move it over a little bit. Yeah, that'll work. And just for fun, I'm going to try a few other things just to, make this border a little bit thicker. I don't mind that. All right, so just getting creative in the live stream. So I'm going to add a box shadow to this. The blur is going to be 0. Let's make it red. Red, okay. And the size will be, let's set it to 40. No, 20. Definitely not 20. Distance 20, size 10. So you got kind of see what I'm going for here. Distance maybe 10. And maybe the size could be 5 or something like that. Yeah, distance needs to be greater. Yeah, let's if it doesn't work out, I'll just remove it, but I'm just trying to mess with this this shadow here. Distance. We'll see if that works. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but we'll try that. And let me make this border here a little bit smaller. I do want it to be maybe like 1. So I want thin lines and maybe some of those borders or those shadows in the background. All right. Wow, that live stream is going fast. We're almost out of time here. So great. So we have this section here. We might kind of work with that. Let's go ahead and add some subheadings. Also, can use a shape behind the hero image to make it look cool. Maybe. Yeah. Possibly. What kind of shape are you thinking, Maverick? Okay, so far so good. Available now. And yeah, let's go ahead and add the next section. So the next section is going to be the I'm going to call this the main section or the content section. And this will make more sense in a second when I add it. So to the main wrapper, let's add a section like curvy shape. Maybe, yeah. The design I'm going for is like this rounded borders design, which I think looks more modern and kind of pops a little bit. If there's room for other, shapes, we can possibly look at that. All right, so cool. So the next section, I'm just gonna call this section content. And then in here, we're gonna add I'm just gonna say top. I'm gonna add a div block and I'm gonna say top section, or wait, first let's add a container. Yeah, container, great. And then in this container, I'm gonna add a div and I'm gonna call this let's see, section content container. I'm gonna call this top underscore content for now, because this is where I want to add the video, or actually this is gonna be main dash content underscore wrapper. Okay, and for this, I'm gonna give it a display setting of grid, and I want 2 columns and 1 row. So 2 columns, yep, 1 row. Then I'm gonna add a div, and I'm gonna say main dash content underscore left, and I'll add another div, and I'll say main dash content underscore right. So on this right side, and actually for the grid, I'm going to make the left side much larger, maybe 2 FR, and the right side 1 FR, right? Because if we go to the Figma file, we're gonna have this section here, and we're gonna have the content here on the left. So as the user scrolls, I just want them to have access to this element here on the right. Cool, so for the section, let me give it some, or the section hero, I'll just add some margin to the bottom. Great. All right, so now in here, I'm gonna add a heading. I'm gonna say it's an H2 heading, and we're gonna style the all H2 tag right now. So let's make it red, Oswald, medium, and what size did I have here for the heading? 48. Okay, 48. And we'll do 1 dash for the line height, and we'll make it all uppercase. So this is the heading. For the section content, let me set it to 10 VW and 10 VW. Cool. So for the heading, this heading is going to be all too well the short film. All too well the short film. And actually for the headings, I want them to be normal. Okay, there we go. So we have that. We have the content left. And actually in this content left, I want to put another wrapper. So div, and this is going to be called video underscore wrapper. Yeah, video underscore wrapper. Cool. Or short film. Short film underscore wrapper. Great. Heading will go in here. Perfect. Then in here we also want to add a video. So I'll add a video, and we have the video there. And let me add a div block actually, because I want to try a few things here. I'm going to call this video underscore wrapper. Place the video in here and good. And then for the border radius of this wrapper, I'm going to set it to 30 and set it to overflow of hidden. Perfect. And give a border radius of red, right? Because we're going to put this video in this element. So I'll call this short film underscore video. Then let me look up that video from Taylor Swift. And let's see, all too well. Okay, I have it here. And we'll just paste that link right in there. All right, and then for this heading, we'll say short film heading. And we'll give it some margin from the bottom, maybe 30. Great. Let's take a look here. Yeah, it's looking good. What did I set for this border? Set it to 50. Maybe this should be 30 instead of 50, so we'll use 30 throughout. Yeah, I like 30. And this is 30. Great. All right, so let me change this to maybe 1. Yeah, that's a little bit better, so it's not as large. For this section content, let me add some padding in the meantime, like so. So we have some scrolling. Okay, yeah, I like that. So all too well. Do we have a container? Yep, it's in a container. Section content, perfect. Cool. So let's build out this right side, and then we'll get into super chats. So for this right side, I'll add a, actually for this, I can just say 30 border radius, give it a border, and set it to red. Okay, because it's just that the main content is actually just this section here. And then I'll add an image, choose image. This is the actual album cover, so that's all good. Let's try images high DPI, sure. Border radius on the image, let's do 30. And let's add some margin, or actually some padding to this element. Maybe 20. Okay. And then we have some buttons, so just add a button, and we'll say buy now on Amazon. On Amazon. And we'll just give this, we'll give the class name button. We'll call it primary button. Set the background to this red, border radius of 30, nope, 8 maybe, yeah. And the text size, we'll make it much larger. So let's see what I have here. It's 24. Let's do that. And definitely add some padding from the bottom and the top. So 20 and maybe 24. Okay, so for this main content, right, let's go ahead. I want this to be 20. Let's set it to flex, vertical, and center. For this image, we'll say let's say content main dash content underscore image. Main content. Yeah, my class naming isn't top notch today, so I'll just say main content image. Cool. So when I'm working so fast, sometimes the class name is like just like a primary button. Let's add some margin there, and then listen on Spotify. Listen on Spotify. And let me make the text here to light. Yeah, let's try that. And cool. And we'll remove some of that padding. Actually, oh no, that works. All right. And I want these buttons to be the same size. So let's do like this. And we will set this to flex and center and add some margin from the left and the right. Nope, don't like those buttons so big. So I might do like a specific width. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and for this main content right, I think I will do a specific width as well, maybe 300 pixels. Maybe 350. We'll have to see actually. How about I undo this and we add about 60 pixels between the columns. Something like this. Yeah, I still want it to be thinner, so maybe 100 pixels between the columns. Maybe a little bit more. 140. Yeah, that looks good. Add a bit more margin to the bottom here, 40. All right, yeah, I like that. Okay, that's looking good. And we can set this to position sticky. So for now, I'm just gonna add like tons of padding, just so we have some scroll space. Maybe even more for now, 600. Okay, perfect. So for this main content right, we're gonna set it to position sticky and set it to 0 or 60 from the top. How about that? So, nope. Main content right, content left. I think this has to be set to relative. Let me see here. Main content right, position sticky, 0. Yeah, I love it when position sticky doesn't quite work. Here, let's see. I think it has to be set to position absolute. If any element has a set height. Okay. Do we have a set height? Don't believe so. All right, we'll come back to position sticky, but yeah, there's many different things to it. Okay. But so far so good. We have the video, and let me try something with this video wrapper. So what do we have for the shadow on this? So 35, yeah, 35 to 25. Okay, so main video wrapper, let's add that box shadow, make it red, 225 and 35, no blur, and size of 0. Yeah, we might not need that shadow, only for the top. And I don't even know if I like it on the top, so I'll just remove it from here. Nice, great. So it's looking good. We have 10 minutes in the live stream. So I'll just open it up to a general discussion. But yeah, we'll continue building this tomorrow. We'll work on the position sticky, but already I'm liking it more than this site, definitely. Tomorrow we'll probably work with Photoshop and use some of these vinyl mockups and CD mockups. It should be set to height instead. For the position sticky, Eric, not sure. Not sure. Let me see. Could it be the padding? So let me set the section content to 300 VH because we need some scrolling here. Position sticky. No, it still doesn't work. Yeah, let me undo that. Let me try something here. Position sticky. Oh, okay, yeah. It's always like you have to like target children elements in position sticky. You know, I don't know the exact science behind it, but basically what I can do here is add a div, and in this div be like by now right, okay, something like that. And then I can place these elements in here, and I can set this to position sticky, and this should work. No, it doesn't work. That's weird. Like if I set this image to position sticky, it works, but the other elements inside of it, see, like, yeah, don't know what that's about. So we have the button. Oh, the buttons have a width. Would that do anything to it? No. Say image. So the image, if I set this to sticky, it does work. You see how the image sticks to the top? That's basically what I want to do for all these elements. Maybe the buttons have to be set to relative as well. And then I can add a div. Set this to position sticky. Nope. Oh wait. Yeah, no. Is the parent relative? Ah, great point. Main content wrapper. Yep, it is. Main content right. Yep, set div block. Main content right, set to relative. This div block should be sticky. Huh, it works for a moment. Oh, I see. Ah. I think I get it. So the container is a container set to relative. No. Okay, that's the reason. So div, now I'm thinking this should work. So this main content right, position sticky, 0, nope. Oh, main content wrapper. No, that's set to relative. Relative. Anyways, we'll work on that. It's being kind of weird. Let me remove the height. But the main wrapper, let's give the main wrapper 2000 pixels. Nope. We'll come back to it. Not gonna spend too much more time here with position sticky. Yeah, so far so good. It's looking good. So we have the right side I do want these buttons to be the same size. So add a bit more padding here, maybe 40. Nope. Those buttons are too big. All right. So yeah, it's looking good. Anything else I can think of at the moment? We can add some animations to maybe the menu items at some point, or maybe we can just do something like, here, let me make this smaller. And on hover, we'll just give it a background. So we'll say hover, and we'll set the background color to white, and border radius of 30, nope, of 8, and the text color will be red. Okay, looks good. And then for the transition, we'll add a transition. We'll say background color, that's easing is fine, and then we'll say font color. Okay, so now when we hover, and we also have to do, so one thing, if you note like the border radius on these elements, it goes from no border radius to border radius. And that's because on the main state, the main state, we have to give it the same border radius. So I'll say 8, but we don't have to give it any color or any background color. But now the border radius is the same for both the hover and the not hover state. So it doesn't have this weird like thing where it goes from no border radius to border radius. And I'll add maybe 10 pixels of margin. Cool. Looks good. All right. So yeah, maybe Taylor Swift will reach out and say, hey, can you make my website? I'll be like, all right. Yeah, because I couldn't believe it. I mean, her site is images. Like, I've never seen that. Like, who's hiring their developers? I mean, it's not like she doesn't have money. Like, her team doesn't have money to create a really nice site, you know? And this is me just spending just a few hours, right? Like with a high quality image, this image isn't even like super high quality. And maybe I can make it, let me try setting it to high DPI, see if we can get, or no, it's a background image, so that wouldn't quite do it. But let me see actually. Can I do high DPI? No, I can't. Let me try fixed. I want to see. Like, you could even do something like that, like, right? Like, so many little, I just set the background to fixed and just added another, like, interesting little effect to the site, right? Where the image stays in place, but everything else scrolls. I don't know if I'll use that, but that's just one example that you could do to, like, make things interesting. So yeah, that's kind of a cool effect. Like, available now should be smaller. I don't like that it's so big here. Let's do 58, maybe 48. Yeah, that's better. And we'll add a little bit more like this. Actually, let me justify to the right. And I'll add the padding here. Remove the padding here. Yeah, it's a bit better. Kind of like that. Maybe even more. Thank you, Lit. Appreciate it. Let me add some margin, some padding here. All right, so yeah, we had some fun today building this site. We'll definitely get more creative as we build this week, but so far so good. We have the video. So for me, like if I'm interested in her album, I'm gonna go to this site and I'm like, oh cool, she has a video. I'm gonna watch the video because that's an important part, right, to selling your product or whatever you have. You want, people like video. So obviously I'm gonna click on the video, get inspired, or love the cinematography, the music, and be like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I can be like, boom, I can buy on Amazon or listen to it on Spotify. Perfect call to actions. And then we're gonna add the album down here, the vinyl version and the digital version, and the compact disc version with some nice mock-ups, and just really make things pop on the site. I definitely want to get an SVG version of this, so I'm gonna work on that because I want this to be super crisp, this red here. And yeah, so I think that's it. I think that's it for today's live stream. It is 1 o'clock. Thanks everyone for joining, participating. Appreciate you joining the live stream, and we will see you tomorrow. I think that's all I got for now. Anything else I want to mention? No, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to write them tomorrow. Definitely spread the word about my live streams. Trying to get as many people as I can to these live streams. Oh, I did want to mention the Discord. So I've been getting asked a lot about the Discord. I am working on it. I'm creating a Patreon membership for those users who want to be part of my Discord, and where we can build this whole Webflow community on the Discord channel. I'm gonna have different tiers, and I'm gonna offer different things through each tier. The live streams will continue, but if you want even more after the live streams, there's gonna be a Patreon membership that you can join. So thanks everyone. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Peace.